All right, Algebra 1, we are coming up on our Chapter 7 test, which is over systems of equations. And basically we have three methods to solve systems, which we've been going over this past few weeks, which are graphing, elimination, and substitution. Okay, so the first two here, this review is going to be very, very similar to your test. So if you can get through this, you'll be able to do pretty well on the test. Okay, so for graphing, we're just trying to find where do they cross. Okay, we want to find the point of intersection. All right, so all we have to do here is go ahead and graph these two equations. So I'm going to start with the top one. I've got a y-intercept of -4, so down 4 for the y-intercept. And then I'm going up 3 over 1. So remember, if it's a whole number, you want to make it a fraction, rise over run. So up 3, always to the right. So up 3, right 1, up 3, right 1. And you can put as many as you want. And if you go up to the right, you can also go down to the left that same amount. Okay, so there's our first one. And then for our second equation, +3 is my y-intercept. Then we're going down 1, right 2. Since it's negative, we go down, always to the right. So down 1, right 2. And we can see it crosses right there. So our point of intersection would be whatever this is. So that's x comma y is 2, 2. And we're done. Okay, so same thing on this next one, except the second equation is going to be one we have to get y by itself first. But let's go ahead and graph this first one, -2. And we're going down 2 over 1. So down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. And I'm also going to go up 2, left 1, just to make a little more points. Make it a little more accurate there of a line. And again, the line doesn't have to be perfect, but that's why we can use more than one point there. Okay, so now to get y by itself, all I have to do here is divide by 5. So when you divide, you got to divide everything by 5 there. Which is going to be y equals -10 divided by 5 is -2x, and then 15 divided by 5 is 3. And there we go. So +3 is right here. And then we're going down 2, again, right 1. So down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Oops, hold on. And you can kind of see here that those are not going to cross. Okay, so if you look at that, those are parallel to each other. So there is no intersection point, so that's no solution. If it was the same line, once I solve, that would be infinite solutions, okay? So moving on to substitution. Substitution is where we want to take something that's by itself. If it's equal to something, you can plug it into the other equation. So for number 3, you can see x is by itself, okay? So if x equals 3y, I can replace this with x, or with 3y. So I'm going to plug that in to the other equation. So instead of x plus 3y, it's 3y plus 3y equals 6. So that's combined like terms. That's 6y equals 6. Divide by 6, and we get y equals 1. And so once I get one answer, plug it in to find the other. So x equals 3 times 1, therefore x equals 3. And so my final answer should be a point once again, and there we are, 3, 1. And so on the other one, we kind of have the same situation. Y is by itself, so I'm going to replace y. Well, what am I going to replace y with? Whatever y equals. So I'm going to take x minus 4 and plug it in for y. So instead of 4x plus 6y, it's going to be 4x plus 6 parentheses x minus 4 equals 16. So all I did was replace the y, since I knew y equals x minus 4, and now I can go ahead and distribute and solve. So 4x stayed the same. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24, equals 16. And just like last time, we want to combine like terms. We get 10x minus 24 equals 16. Then I go ahead and add 24 to both sides, and I end up with 10x equals 40. And so when I divide by 10, I get x equals 4. And we're not done quite yet. We got to plug that right back in to the top. And so we get y equals 4 minus 4, which is 0. And so there's my answer, 4, 0. And I'm done. That's substitution. Okay? And so our last part here, we've got elimination. Okay? Our last method is elimination, so we want to make opposites. Okay? So substitution is x or y by itself. Substitution is make opposites. Okay, so in this case, number 5, we already have opposites. If you look at this, 4 and negative 4 are already opposites. So if I combine these two equations together, so really I'm adding these two together, 4 plus negative 4 cancels. 8 plus negative 2 is 6y. And then negative 24 plus negative 12 is negative 36. Divide by 6, I get y equals negative 6. And now all I have to do is plug it back in to one of those equations. Again, it doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to choose the top one. So 8 times negative 6 equals negative 24. So 8 times negative 6 is negative 48 equals negative 24, and then I add 48 to both sides. And so what I get is 4x equals 24. Divide by 4, I end up with x equals 6. So there's xy, 6, negative 6. And I'm done. Excuse me. And so number 6, same deal. But look at these. We don't have opposites yet. Okay, so I got to figure out, okay, what could I multiply to make them opposites? Okay, so I could either multiply the x by negative 5 to make 5 and negative 5, or multiply this by negative 2 to make 4 and negative 4. So I think what I'm going to do is multiply by negative 2 to make those match up, be opposites. So the top one I'm just rewriting. 5x plus 4y equals negative 14. And then the bottom one, negative 2 times x, is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4y. And then negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Now we have opposites, and I can go ahead and combine these together. So 5 plus negative 2 is 3x. Those cancel, and I get negative 18. Negative 14 plus negative 4, negative 18. So I divide, I get x equals negative 6, and then I just got to plug it back in. I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the bottom one here. The original, though, so instead of x plus 2y, it's going to be negative 6 plus 2y equals 2. So I add 6 to both sides, get 2y equals 8. Divide by 2, I get y equals 4. And there we are once again. Negative 6, positive 4. Okay? So that's basically the test. And then the last two questions are kind of going to be a choice for you. You can choose whatever method you want to. But, again, it's going to kind of give you one method to do if you want to do the correct method, or not the correct, but the better method, look for what method would work best. So make opposites or get x by or y by itself. So in 7, x is already by itself here. So I can just plug that in for x right there. So instead of 2x, it's going to be 2, 3y plus 1 plus 4y equals 12. And then I'm solving once again. So 2 times 3 is 6y, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4y equals 12. Combine like terms, get 10y plus 2 equals 12. And then I subtract 2, 10y equals 10. And so y equals 1. Now we go ahead and plug it back in. And so I get x equals 3 times 1 plus 1, which is 3 plus 1, giving me 4. So 4, 1, final answer. Okay, that was probably substitution as the best method. And then you look at number 8, and I see that these are all lined up perfectly. All I have to do is multiply 7 by 2 to make it 14 and negative 14. So that's what I'm going to do with this bottom equation. The top equation stays the same. The bottom equation becomes 2 times negative 6 is negative 12x. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14y, and now you can see we have opposites. And then 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. Now we can go ahead and combine the equations together. So 8 plus negative 12 is negative 4x. The y's cancel. 4 plus negative 20 is negative 16. Divide by negative 4. Negative divided by negative is positive 4. Then I just plug it back in. I'm going to use the top one and get 8 times 4 plus 14y equals 4. And 8 times 4 is 32. And now we just subtract and divide. So subtract 32, 14y equals negative 28. Divide by 14, and we end up with y equals negative 2. So 4, negative 2 is my point. Okay? And so finally, we have our last problem. This one is more of a bonus. You can see the directions say pick 2, and then if you do a third, it's a bonus. So this one's a bonus, but it's a one where we can't just multiply 3 to get 5 or 2 to get 5. So we got to multiply both equations by something. Well, I'm just going to look at the x's here. 3 and 5 both go into 15. So I'm going to multiply this by 5 to get 15, this by negative 3 to get negative 15. So I still want to get opposites. I'm doing this for elimination. So the top one's 15x minus 10y equals 10. The bottom is negative 15x plus 15y equals negative 30. And now I can combine since the x's are going to cancel. So negative 10 plus 5 is, or 15 is 5y equals negative 20. And when I divide, I get y equals negative 4. And so I just plug that right back into one of those top ones. I'm going to do the top one here. So instead of 3x minus 2y, it's going to be 3x minus 2 times negative 4 equals 2. Negative times negative there is positive 8 equals 2. Subtract 8, I get 3x equals negative 6. Divide by 3. And I get x equals negative 2. And there we are, negative 2, negative 4. Okay? So feel free to rewind and pause and do whatever you need to do. If you have questions before Wednesday or Thursday, be sure to ask. And we'll be ready for our test on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what cohort you are. All right? So let me know. Peace.